Hello and welcome to Washington Exec's video series. I'm Amanda Ziadeh with Washington Exec, and joining me today is Susan Penfield, an Executive Vice President and the Chief Innovation Officer at Booz Allen Hamilton, and Jags Kandasamy, CEO of Latent AI. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you, Amanda.
Of course. So before we jump into our discussion on innovation in government, AI, partnerships, and more, Susan, it's my understanding that Booz Allen is the largest provider of artificial intelligence services to the government. Can you tell us the critical role that innovation, and specifically AI, is playing in the government space, and what are some hurdles your government clients face in adopting technologies like AI?
So two-part question. So first, I would say our government clients are certainly more and more reliant on technology and innovation to achieve those ever complicated missions that they have today, and all of them much more digitally driven. At the same time, public and private sector technology investments are accelerating really at a rapid pace, and certainly the demand for tech talent outpaces the supply that's there today. So this rapid acceleration, I think, really brings tremendous opportunity for us for breakthrough innovations, increased speed to market for products and services, and certainly a transformed customer experience. So that's the first part of your question. On the second part of your question, I believe that AI is not a single technology breakthrough, but it really enables the complex integration of people, of processes, and technology. And our AI team is focused on helping organizations get a sense of the tremendous amounts of data that they have today. We're really teaching machines to process the world like humans. And that results in better automation, better productivity, and certainly the ability to inform complex decision-making. So to that end, the work that we do with our clients on their AI agenda, we focus on a couple of areas. One, making sure they have a discrete mission challenge. Two, we want to ensure that they have access to high quality and operationally relevant data assets so that they can really train and test the models. And third, we want to make sure that they have access to scalable computing environments to make sure that we can continue to support rapid development. And we use this roadmap across all of our clients. And interestingly enough, at the FDA today, we are actually in a pretty cool new engagement where we're working for the chief data officer to set up their AI environment and really scale their AI capability across their enterprise.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. And I have another two-parter question for you. It was exciting to hear about Booz Allen's recent investment in Latent AI back in July. So why did Booz Allen choose to invest in Latent AI, and how does this partnership help address some of the challenges you're seeing in areas like AI adoption?
Sure. So over the past couple of years, we've certainly observed a number of breakthroughs in AI research. And we know that our clients were looking for something specific to help them operate in their infrastructure environments, which really lacked computational infrastructure. So we unpacked this challenge a little bit, and we realized we needed, a capability that would help our clients not rely on their current environments because they don't have endless compute, storage, and power. So we gave this challenge to our tech scouting team, and they came back with Latent AI, which is clearly on the cutting edge of edge computing technologies. And Latent AI, and I'll let Jags say more about this, but they've been really working this problem for well over a decade. And they were building an entire ecosystem of tools to really bridge that gap around infrastructure. And I'm going to get out of my league here, but what they do is they implement machine learning models on small form factor chipsets and into the end user devices. So their ability is to reduce complexity that increases that path to production speed. It also increases reliability and certainly helps to drive AI adoption and ultimately return on investment for our client. So we're super excited to be partnering with Latent AI. We think together that we can, build some really interesting capability, not only in the defense and intelligence sector where we're focused today, but also in the health sector and other civilian sectors as we continue our go-to-market strategy.
All right, got it. And before we dive a bit more into Latent AI, Susan, one more question. Why is private sector collaboration important for government? And how does Booz Allen approach tech scouting, partnerships, investments, things like that with organizations like Latent AI? And also, what are you hoping this partnership will bring to your clients?
So one, I think the private sector's capability to, invent and invest in technology definitely surpasses what the government can do today. So we really expect big tech and the startup community to be innovating. And we need companies like Booz Allen to really translate that tech from labs and demos and prototypes, into more scaled solutions. And I think that's really where the magic happens. That's why this partnership with Latent AI has been so incredible. Also, I think there's been a recent report, a National Security Commission on Artificial Intelligence report. And what they say in that report is that there is a significant amount of investment required for the U.S. to continue to maintain leadership over our adversaries and certainly stay ahead of the game as it relates to tech. And what they're really looking for in terms of those recommendations is to increase a more industry collaboration investment. So to that end, we feel really good about where we are. We are investing certainly in our AI business and scaling it across our firm, but also investing in companies like Latent AI, where we can really bring AI into the real world and really solve these most challenging mission problems. And we feel really proud that we're on the cutting edge of what AI can do for any of our mission clients. So the goal really here is to continue to work with companies like Latent AI and bring that tech to market and really make our government clients, ahead of the curve as it relates to the missions that they're trying to solve.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you, Susan, so much for answering those questions for us. It's so great to have you both here. So Jags, we can dive a little bit into Latent AI. Based on what I've read about the company, it seems to be at the forefront of edge AI. That's a technology that is particularly important to achieving Defense Department's digital battlespace goals, among many other applications. Can you explain a little bit more about your company's technology and the value it can add for organizations like DoD?
Absolutely. Thanks, Amanda. And Susan, excellent points that you brought up. So to explain the technology, to start off, I have to thank DARPA for funding this technology, right? We are a spin-out from SRI International. SRI is a well-known nonprofit organization that does a lot of research for DARPA, NSF, and ARPA-E, and other government research organizations, right? So as Susan mentioned, the technology has been in development for over 10 years within SRI with various fundings from DARPA and NSF. And here we are lucky, I feel myself and my co-founder as stewards of this technology to bring it out into the commercial world and make products out of it so we can help other organizations to solve some of the problems that was brought up. Right. So what are we building? Right. We are building developer tools and an ecosystem of systems and tools to help engineers bring AI models to the small compute constrained devices. Today, most of these organizations go through that as a science experiment and as a research problem. We are trying to make it more as an engineering problem, take the research out of it, and provide the tools so their engineers can get to the market faster, build products and get to market faster. The second part of your question, how can DoD take advantage of it? So, when DARPA issues challenges and research grants, they're looking around the horizon, over the horizon, to see what are the new challenges that could be coming up for our nation from a national security perspective, right? So based on that, what we have built is actually what DARPA had envisioned many years ago, right? We've just productized it. We've taken it out, productized it, and brought it out. So think about, from a digital warfare perspective, drones, UAVs, right? Like run on single source of power. Do you use that power for computing or do you want it to fly longer missions, right? We can help it run longer missions rather than using it for compute. Right? When the warfighter is in a constrained zone or a denied environment, how do we help them maintain situational awareness and not overload their cognitive ability? Take that off, offload it to a computing device, and AI is is going to help that, and we can help bring that AI to those edge devices. I can go on, I can talk for hours and hours about the different applications and use cases that we can enable, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's very helpful. Thank you so much for helping us understand a bit more about the technology and Latent AI's place in it. I understand the global race for AI supremacy is also front and center right now. Can you tell us a little bit more about how Latent AI's technologies can help the US government achieve tech primacy, and why partnerships with companies like Booz Allen are so important for meeting that mission?
All right, I'll answer the latter first so that it will give the context as we move to the first question, right?
Okay, perfect.
So, as I said, we are building developer tools. We don't have as much situational or contextual awareness about the use cases, right? Booz Allen has been a trusted partner of the government for decades, right? Partnering with a company like that brings a lot more credibility to us. Plus, the government gets solutions instead of tools, right? We can provide screwdrivers and spanners and such, right? Unless you have the requisite skill set at the government side and the other parts to put it together, the tools are going to sit in the garage, right? Susan team and then the rest of the Booz Allen organizations have the tools, other tools required, they have the skills required, and then they have the other parts that they can pull in together and make the solution, the end solution that the customer can use and deploy and get the return on investment, right? That's where Booz Allen comes in, and we are actually more thankful for partnering with Booz Allen and for Susan and her team for identifying us out of, I don't know, Susan, the numbers were around 800 companies where we're looked around, right? So we are very, very lucky to be one of the top in that, right? So how can we help in the AI supremacy or the primacy, right? So think about it, right? Today, AI is literally and figuratively run in the cloud all the time, right? You speak to Siri, you speak to Alexa, all of this is being run in the cloud. How do we make that, how do we cannot bring everything down to edge devices, but can we bring most of it down to an edge device and work, right? Now, when you do that, and when you make it privacy focused, when you're running things locally, you're cutting off the cybersecurity attack vector for our adversaries. So your data doesn't leave your premise, doesn't leave your device, it's just getting processed and discarded. Right? So no raw data passes on. So cybersecurity is one area that helps immediately, right? Then the next, there are use cases that you can come up with, and the adversary will be surprised with how we got to do certain things. We cannot talk that in public, but like certain things that you get it done, and like how did they manage to do it when they were in a constrained environment or a restricted environment? So things like that will help us ascend in this AI battle.
Well, thank you. It's been really wonderful being able to catch up with you both after the news in July. It seems like a very valuable and strong partnership. So thank you so much for helping us understand a bit more about the work and AI's benefit in general.
Thank you, Amanda. It's great to work with Jags and the Latent AI team. They've been really incredible to be a partner on some of these most challenging things that we're doing with our federal government clients.
Thanks for having me, Amanda. And thank you, Susan, for this wonderful partnership. I know we are just starting and scratching the surface. We have so much engagement to get through.
Awesome. We look forward to seeing that engagement. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.